What's up, guys? It's Sam of the Portuguese Mofo here, and this will be the second after action report for everything I've been doing. And I also got my brother Yeshua's Wood here with me.
Hi guys, how are you? How are you?
So, and part of this is me teaching my brother just the conduct of an after action report, um, how it would be conducted formally, uh, and also to do it around the videos that I've been making for YouTube lately. So, after action report, right? This is something specifically I learned in the army, right? But it's done in a ton of businesses and everything, right? But it's just doing an assessment, right? After you do something, right? Even sports players, when they watch the film, assess how the game went, what they executed well, didn't, even getting down to the nitty gritty technicalities of even specific movements that you're doing as an individual, right? Those are all forms of doing after action reports. And the idea is to take that information and bring it to, right, the next thing and hopefully improve yourself, the situation, whatever it is, right? The next time you come across it, whatever that might be. So, essentially there's four questions you'll usually go through, right? Whenever you're doing an after action report, and you can even break down like the action, right, into various things. So right now, we can break this down, right? Like me making videos. First, we can talk about the game, the very specific game, all right, and the actual gameplay. Talk about the creation of the videos themselves, the styles of the videos, right? So we can break it down even further. You can get really silly with how you go about it, right? So that was kind of just a vomit of information. The actual content, right, is you're just going to go through these four questions, and you can potentially go over those four questions as many times as you want, right? The first question being, what have I been doing or was supposed to do?
Inside the game?
No, just in general. And in this, we will specifically talk to, yes, the game. Okay. I've
Video
been
video
playing.
game?
Yep. So we'll talk to the gameplay. So the first question, right? And if we were like, let me just give you an example, like how this would look in the army, right? It'd be like my platoon, we conduct, all right, a lane, right, during some sort of training exercise, all right? You conduct this little lane or mission, whatever you want to call it, this little scenario, okay, this little challenge set. Okay, you're gonna do that thing, and then after everyone comes together, like usually including the people that you're going against, the OICs, call them the referees, all right? Everyone comes together, and it's just like you ask these questions. So what have I been doing or supposed to do? I've been playing Shogun 2 Total War and Medieval 2 Total War, specifically the games, the Total War games. Okay, with the idea of creating media or content that could help people in the game and introduce some of the really fun aspects of the game. Okay, what has actually happened? What has actually happened is it started with, okay, asking me to do a Medieval 2 campaign as France, a 10 turn, just like, hey, do these, can you do 10 turns and tell me how to like get started in this campaign so that he could have a successful campaign on the hardest difficulty. So I did that, right? I wrote out all of the information, right? I did it 10 turns, wrote out the information, gave it to him. He was able to turn that into a completed campaign. He said I should make a guide based off of that and post it online. So I did that at the turn of the year.
Yeah.
Posted that guide online. That's when I was like starting to play Shogun 2 multiplayer, which I hadn't really been playing. Which I mean, I just didn't really have a chance to get into that multiplayer community back when it was bigger, I guess. Just because of life and things that were going on, but started playing against people, right? And, you know, I don't think I'm great at the game by any means or even very good, but I'm solid enough, right? And it's like any video game I play, I'm going to put it on the hardest difficulty and we're going to figure it out. Uh, or you're not, right? Yeah. So, and really, it's just about having fun. But coming from that guide, which I do have another follow up guide intended, I decided to do the videos when I decided to enter a multiplayer tournament. And part of the videos, the biggest reason why I want to do that was for the purposes of integrity, so that people could see what I was doing to try, because there's a lot of rule sets, and I've never even done anything competitive with that. And I had two violations, which were simple, and the guy I played against was really great about it. And honestly, he's right. He's contributed to my YouTube in some ways, actually, right? Providing specifically a video for the Epic Battle series that eventually with you, right, we're gonna try and make a real cinematic
Movie
video.
about it, or
Right.
video, yeah.
Well, we've talked about a few of those things, right? So
That's one of the things.
so
that
I've been
happen.
making those videos, right? And I've started making those videos and it's kind of been a little bit of a video dump. And because I don't play a ton of video games, right? This is part of like the difficulty of even starting this and then trying to give some commitment to it and with everything else going on in my life, right? Having the time. So a lot of what's going on right now is a little bit I get to play. I'm just recording or live recording, right?
As you play.
Yeah. Uh
Are
so
you capturing like cinematic spots or just the game?
I've been doing a little bit of that, right? Because I haven't really been doing much of the campaign stuff, but there's like the Takeda campaign that I've already talked to you about, right? Where
All those
doing
six
the
people.
yep, with all those characters and stuff and how we're gonna try and that can start to utilize what you got your degree in some CGI and just animation stuff. See what we can do, explore some of that, right? Been building that. Um and with that, yeah, I've been doing some of that stuff, but even these videos, right? The biggest thing with me making these videos, right, to help give another avenue for us to continue to contribute to the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, the podcast in your studios. Okay, like that was one. A second was honestly right when we've talked about this, just right, just showing my brother like, dude, you can just record yourself, post playing games, and who knows, see what happens, right?
Yeah.
There's that piece of it, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of the thing. A lot of people dedicate their time to video games, which are awesome, right? They're so much fun, don't we? Like we always enjoyed the opportunities that we can, but there's a balance. But there is this world where you can people make a lot of money playing them,
They
right?
do. They do. I'm so shocked how much money.
And we're moving in this world in the future where it's a very viable thing, and even a lot of what we're going to be doing with incorporation with AI and all the different things, right? Remote controlling everything, droning, and all this stuff, right? You can fight war now with a controller. People do.
That's not good.
I mean, but
Yeah,
the point is, right?
so
Like
what was
to
the
open up
third
that.
question?
So these are the things that have been happening, right? We're still on what has actually happened, right?
Yep.
So we're talking about these. So like why I've been making these videos.
Yep.
We're making this a little long-winded, but this is also part of us practicing this whole deal. So, right, show that you can just do it anyways. And there's the thing, dude, of like, right, like playing football, right? When you're performing at something, if you can record it, watch yourself back, you can improve. You can learn from it, right? Pick up on things, which, right, like one thing, actually, I'll wait because that's actually getting into the next questions, right? It's kind of the whole point of why you go through what's actually happened, right? So, but since I've been doing this, right, the most difficult thing for me is to properly schedule and then to truly think through editing. So, right, so a lot of it's just been like just live recording me playing, and then I'll do some like battle commentaries, right, of old replays that I had from before. I honestly lost a bunch of replays that I thought I had on my other hard drive, but
Oh,
they're
shit.
not. But
Alright.
it's one of those. I mean, it was probably like 20 or 30 of them. Nothing crazy. But this was
I
probably
hate those
dude. But this was like
HD.
back in like probably November or something before I was even thinking about making videos.
Oh, okay.
You know, that was just like one of those things. Like because I was just trying to clear some space on my computer and in that folder. I thought I moved them all. You know how file moving can go every once in a while if you're not being
Oh my
careful or
god,
whatever.
Sam.
So, anyways, so those are the things that have happened, right? So, and I've made a total of, I think, something like 40. How many have I actually made here? So I have 53 on page. So as far as total war videos goes, okay, for the game, because I only have 4 or 9. So 49 total videos in the last 2 months, essentially. And that's pretty, and that's pretty close. Obviously, not perfectly to the actual time I put in playing, but
Yeah.
that is.
Because you set up
So,
to practice and learned before you start
well,
recording.
so right now, this is what the after action report is for, right? So, what has happened over the last 2 months, right? And I'm kind of doing a big one here, right? What's happened over the last 2, 3 months since I started recording videos, which started in that multiplayer tournament I was in.
Yeah.
Okay. What has gone well, all right, is the first thing. And usually when you do this, right, like in the army, we would have an indicator of trying to look for, 3 things that you did well, and then after it's 3 things that can be improved upon, right? But things that have gone well, right? Uh, I'll say this: things that have gone well is first the community building, in a weird way. Just finding a lot of people that play all over the world, various times, trying to do different things, and are all pretty chill about it, but are also like serious enough about it too. Like they, most of them are trying to play to get better at the game, right? Like, and I've always been like, I take everything I do seriously, but I also, how serious is something? You know what I mean? It's keep things properly in their place, right? And we're playing a game, and we try to set different rule sets, and that's all different stuff. And anybody that plays with me knows I'm not really too worried about those things, unless if you're in a competitive tournament and there's rules for the tournament,
Yeah.
like you got to follow those rules. But if we're just playing, unless you discuss some rules, right? For me, I don't care. Like, there's different rules of like pulling through, and not that you need to understand what these things are,
Yeah.
right? Different things that people are really asking people to not do in general, um, because see as like kind of cheesy tactics or kind of manipulating the game or doing, which I understand all that, but there's skilled involved with some of these things. Some people say it's not skilled, but like the pull through method, it still takes attention away from things like. And at the end of the day, right, it's a competitive thing, and then people will always, can get into arguments. It's just like anybody when there's a referee, right, like in a game, and you think it was one way, right, and that's where taking videos and having replay can help a lot. Because first we just make mistakes. Sometimes you do something and you don't think you did it literally right after it happened. And then you go back and you watch the tape and you did. Right? That was one of the great things I learned in football. But the community building and I think has gone really well, to be honest. So that's one thing that's gone well. The videos themselves, I think, right, and I kind of
consistent posting should be some.
yeah, I've been posting a lot, and I'm kind of right now in a just record. I'm not doing much editing, right? I'm literally like hitting a record, just letting it go, hitting stop record, literally just going to YouTube, putting it in, right? Um, so the consistency in that regard, but I'm making them very simple, super simple. in the sense too of like I'm doing a lot of live recording, I'm not live streaming, right? It's not like you can hop into my live stream. And just because I already have enough sort of distractions going on, right? Like with my roommate and just other things going on that like for me to try to like actually do a consistent live stream doesn't make sense. So it just makes more sense when I can get on, right? Oh, just hit record, sweet. Yeah, hey, we're here playing. We're gonna see how it goes. Okay. And I think that goes well. And then I think the best videos I've made so far though, probably honestly, are the short, quick replays that they last about somewhere in that like 8 to 10 minute range.
Yeah.
Just because right, they're quick hit
I
videos
seen
you can
several
watch.
of them 23, 20.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that's considered long or not, but
well, I think that's something
10 minutes has been great.
right. So we're kind of mixing two, but yes, the consistency of actually putting out videos, right? So say two things that have gone well is community building and the consistency of putting out videos, even though it had been about a week since yesterday. Right. But that was just a lot going on again. Right. So, and it was like one of those things where I was just like, I'm not even gonna try and enter playing the game too. And because I do take playing how I play the game to a certain level of seriousness, so I like to be as present as I can be, right? When I'm playing. So
Like to be give it 100% my attention to the things I do.
right, and so and I think, and I'll put this as a well, but also something that needs to be improved. We'll just make a quick transition here. Is my play during live recording, right? And because I'm trying to talk through what's going on and stuff, right? I don't play as clean, but that's to be expected. I'm doing another thing, right? Rather than just like, right, not trying to talk to people while I'm playing, just 100% quiet, locked in, and focused, right? Uh,
How often
and
can you zone in like that?
dude, right? When you get into the zone of something, uh, in anything, right?
Yeah.
You can probably think of it in jujitsu, probably most recently in your life, as something that in taekwondo that you do on a very consistent daily, almost daily basis, right?
Yeah.
When you get into a certain flow state, right?
Yeah.
When it's just like you can see everything and all your movements are precise and on point, or it feels that way, right? So can I get into that type of flow state when I'm live recording?
Yeah.
Time and practice, right? Time on target, reps. However, and tactically remember, depending on what the mission set is, you want your time on target to be quite short. But anyways, that's just a little side piece. But anyways,
now the bat.
so right, what can be improved, right?
Yep.
And like I said, so some of it is my gameplay, right? And these are things that I know, but the gameplay and the amount playing. Now, that's also a tough balance for me to get, right?
What do you mean by that?
Actually playing the game. The
Like
activity
the
of
amount of
actually playing the game, playing matches, actually getting matches in, right? Like, I played 20 battles tonight. Dude, honestly, most of the time, yes, sure, it's like 3 battles is usually about the time I can get, because usually I can sit down for about an hour at a time in space. And then with making videos and like editing videos and right, and even just watching replays rather than playing, okay, this is where I'm trying to find the right balance between playing, watching replays, how much prep do I need to want to go into replays, into creating videos, watching a track versus actually, actively playing the game because certain micro things
still
like
have
working
to
the keyboard, right? It's like anything. You got to do the thing to get better at it.
Yeah.
Right. So figuring that out, if this is to go, well, actually, we'll get into probably how far I plan to take this, at least for now in my head. We can wrap that part into the last at the end. But so that part is something for me to figure out. And then just consistency with my audio, which audio has been a big subject for us today, right?
Yeah.
But, right, to say that, like, something that seems to be going better is remember how, and it could just be coming out of winter, some of the stuff I was working with at work, but the mouth breathing, Which it's funny because it reminded me back to when I was a kid when online gaming was first coming out, right? Halo and all that stuff and COD.
Yep, with the
And we were
headphones.
first getting headsets and talking. I actually remember, you know, our good old neighbor there would, give me crap for it, but be like, why are you breathing into the mic so loud? Like, holy shit, mouth breathing, like gaming. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
thing? I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
mean, dude, in my first videos, you remember, it would just be like, I'd be talking, and then when I'd go to change, it'd be like, and then, or, and then, I am slowly, I feel like improving.
Hmm.
Uh, right, and I do think, and honestly, I didn't watch all the videos in full completion that I took the last 2 days, but I do seem to do it less. Or when I'm doing it, it's not so pronounced.
I
Right?
wonder if it's
Just
the
quieter.
headphone just blocking you out so you can't hear yourself. You making those noise. Because you're not making that noise right now.
No, I know. It's Jude, but it's just I think when I'm gaming on
Yeah.
a mic,
That's what I mean. Like your circulation.
whatever it
Can
is,
you play
dude.
with headphone off, but you can still talk to
No,
them?
no, but even with the headphones off,
Really?
I was still doing that. Yeah, like dude, just you could go through all my videos and just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen to me going,
I
right?
don't want to listen to you, but
Right?
but I get the
Nobody
point.
does. Here I am posting it on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's dude, right? And that's part of it too, man. Like there's a level of exposure therapy that's uh so to speak. So uh so that's essentially how you conduct an after action report, right? So right, identifying things that have gone well and things to continue to improve on. Another thing to I'm gonna be continuing to think about to improve upon is how I want to maybe schedule things, or even if we're going to, right? This is just a game, right? Technically, these are all side projects of our lives.
Yep. Yeah, we've done that
So,
actually.
right. So, with that being said, trying to figure out how I want to handle that and maintain the balance of life and doing this, right? Um, so figuring out some of that scheduling stuff, putting in time to not only playing online with people, but also putting in the time to some of the campaign stuff that I'd like to do with you, where we'd like to try and do some story creations with that, and do some real cinematography, like literally try to legit make some movie thing, right? With some of that. So um, we'll see how that can continue to go. Uh, but things just for me to continue to think about. And then, right, playing with a lot of good players and people that play the game seriously and compete in it. And, uh, seems like good
Sounds
people.
like you have a lot of viewers. Let's say 1.2.
Oh,
Hey.
no. Well, this is because, right, look at your featured right here, bud. Here, let's just put this song in the background. Why not? Yeah, for a sec. My record, dude. Look at you. You're not wearing the same sweatshirt, but almost.
I think
You
that might be
remember
the
this,
same
dude?
sweatshirt.
You remember this day?
I think that might be the same sweatshirt, man.
Yeah. You remember this day?
I remember that
Look
day.
at me, dude. I look silly as hell.
How are you serious here? We trying to break the record right now. Look at that guy behind Ronnie. Trying to break the record right now.
So, right?
I do look like a fucking weirdo with that grip.
Yeah, I
Like
wonder if it's picking up the music there. But
look at
that's
that.
that's actually one thing, dude, is the music playing in the background. I wonder if, you know, I'm gonna get a copyright issue at some point for it.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's not like we're making money off of it.
Oh yeah,
So
right.
they can't
Oh, dude,
sue
it's
you for that. But
some
we're
point.
trying to break record,
Well,
man.
nah,
People
these
should
used to be
people
all-
should be
these-
inspired by these videos, not.
Oh, dude. Well, right. You know how silly the world gets. So, anyways.
Oh my God! Look at you, way from upside down pull Well,
upside down pull-ups. And
what was they call raise pull up raise
inverted
into
row. It's a
what
body weight inverted row.
inverted row into crunch sit up and
Yeah,
into
right. And
push up
remember,
into damn
and
that
it was
we
funny just
I did
'cause-
that too. I just forgot.
Well, if you remember right when
How
we
was
saw the
awesome.
one, if you remember right,
There we go again.
the first one, the very first challenge we did.
Yeah, I'm in the
I
back here.
I like kind of by accident, not by accident, but not really trying, almost like beat the record, right? I did it like just over 8 minutes. You were like, you weren't even trying, buddy.
We already tried.
I was
It was
like, all
amazing.
right, I guess. I was like, all right, next one we'll give it a hard rip.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
I
my.
beat it on the next two, or if you remember, right at the farm.
Yep, we did.
But they didn't take the videos, which is fair, because the inverted rows on the on that
It
thing that
wasn't
we
the
were
same
doing it on.
size.
Well, it was because honestly,
I feel like it was more
if there was
challenging.
about 3 more inches of clearance, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just makes literally a harder inverted row than this one.
That's what I said.
But
I was like,
but
way
actually,
harder.
but it was it definitely helped with speed a little bit because there's
Like
a slight
short-
bounce off the
short
ground.
distance,
It's
yeah.
actually more of like the bouncing off
Yeah.
the ground that can probably help a little bit there. But there's also the elasticity of. So there's all these
I don't
different.
know. I felt like that
discussions.
was because you weren't hitting the floor that hard. You were
Yeah.
controlling yourself. That's a
Oh
control
yeah,
ball.
and
It's
I will say this: I was probably like a half inch from
my
full
coaches
extension.
always said, "Then don't fully extend."
Well, that's
always
called a
bend little
soft
bit."
lock. Or if
Yeah.
you get into weightlifting,
That's
or
what they
I guess
tell
they
me.
have
So
different
I
things.
thought you did great. I was like, "What?"
It all depends on what you're trying to do because sometimes you want that extension, sometimes you don't, right? There's all different ways to approach it. However, I don't want to get deep into strength and conditioning because first, I'm not certified.
You don't have to be certified. We're talking about what we did.
Just our life experience.
And
Sure.
believe me, I would certify you.
Some
over...
people would say that's exercise science for real. It's called go work out.
I'm just saying, in that gym.
Sorry, that was me just talking smack a little bit.
In that gym, there was like several
I should say go train.
physical trainers and stuff like that in there. And believe me, I would let you train. I would have you set up my whole training and stuff. Remember? Like
I know.
So like,
Hey, I have to say this: I have never trained with anyone. All right, but someone may have, or a number of people may have come to me with gyms, and we may have trained together. And I may have just been like, "Hey, try this, or think about this, or do this," but I have never trained anyone at a gym ever.
You trained me.
No,
you trained me.
No, buddy.
We would
listen.
We would literally
No,
go to the YMCA.
Listen,
remember?
I'm only saying this, and this could be funny. We'll see whatever will happen from this, right? But there's a lot of technicality of like, all right, and not that I've ever done this because it's not how I do it or how it goes, but like, if you are a personal trainer, usually you need to be associated with the gym to bring people in to train them in the gym, all right? Like, but obviously with my friends and a lot of just great people that I've known in my life, you guys will be like, oh, so it is just two friends going to the gym and I'm showing them stuff, right? Like you're not paying me to train you.
No,
like nobody's paying me to train me. So it's actually all fine. It was that thing of like, I'm just saying, I didn't train anyone. We just happen to be training together and I'm telling them everything to do. And they're just saying yes, sir. I'm just kidding. Nobody's ever said yes, sir. Nobody's said
If they're gonna be butthurt about that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Dude, nobody is. Nobody is. I'm just being silly because, I just always read that, like, walking into a gym or something. You know what I mean? And I'll be like...
Remember
I'll be with whoever, and I'll be like, just remember, I'm not training you if anyone else. Just as a joke, but we'll tell anybody that. Because we are trained. That's what we're doing.
Helping me how to do it, and I was like, I have gone to physical trainers, and they couldn't help me. And I have gone with you to the YMCA, and we done way better exercise for those shoulders and wrist exercise.
And your herniated disc at a time, right?
Yeah, remember
you were able to correct your back.
Yeah. So like, but like that's like even The point is like I don't think it's necessary need to be certified. That's what I come to realize nowadays is nobody's expert. Everybody just have understanding the subject. Just fine. It's not the end of the world. But everybody's like, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Which is what I used to do. Like you can't say that because you're not expert at it. I get it. I'm also the contributor. I should shut.
Nah, bro, this is the point. We're trying to talk. But, dude, this was good. Thank you for doing this after action report with me.
This is amazing.
Just
This is can apply for almost anything and anybody.
oh,
anyone.
dude, that's just kind of. I just
In
want.
fact,
I
should
know
give you my
I've
actual report for Wildwood Studio.
yeah, and I've told you about after action reports, but I just never like kind of walked you through
Yeah.
the sort of process. And again, sort of loose, right? It's just two friends talking,
Yeah.
but like anything, we're trying to get better every day. So, you know, I guess while we're sitting here, I don't know how long we've been recording, and this, if all is clean and good, will go up on just my YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put
No.
those two together, send it to you, cut this part out,
Yep.
and then we'll see where we go.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
We're good.
We're
All
good.
right.
Thank you for the action report. One more.
Alright, if you made it through that whole video, thank you for watching. That's a little preview, I guess, into what I've been doing with my brother Yeshua's there. Some podcast work and teaching him a little bit about an after action report. Obviously a pretty loose conduct of it, but just two friends working on some stuff together. So with that being said, after just having reviewed it, some quick things that were just sort of missed that I intended to hit in that. Right, so the time frame that I intend to make these videos is really just probably up until Medieval 3 comes out as far as gaming videos. I've been doing some of this stuff with him as far as video games are concerned. So I know that in my head that's kind of as far as Total War videos go, kind of where I had put my limit of where I'm going to put a time dedication to this, as far as really trying to make video game content. And part of that's just, I figure at that time in my life I'd probably have even less time than I do now to do this, but we'll see. Obviously, you know, we allow life to go as it does. So beyond that, right, so I just wanted to indicate that time frame issue, and I had some intention of doing some more videos today, but again, life happens. You know, I worked today and came back and had to do some other stuff, and didn't end up getting on to do the epic battles. The left flank, the center, and the right flank for the epic battle, that I already made one video for. So I'm going to work on those three this week, get those three done, because that just sort of gives me and my buddy Yeshua a baseline, and that's the first cinematic video I intend to do with him. Right, take a lot of shots. We'll probably use, I have a few records from the first video that I made of the epic battle. I'll probably make a couple for each flank this week, and that way I have some content to put together with him. We can put a storyboard together and then put together what would hopefully be a pretty cool looking video, but we'll see, right? Pretty raw at this, so keep working at it. So yeah, that's the intended plan though with that epic battle, that first series. The intent is to finish that out this week, and then we got that 2v2 tournament. Join the Prussian General in that. Shout out to you. That should be fun. So, and that's one thing which I'll be able to square up and square away whenever the time is right. Like, a lot of it is, sometimes I have more time to play. I'm choosing not to, right? Just because it's a good thing in life to have a lot of opportunities to do things. So you try to take advantage of those when you can. And again, people are my priority. So if there's things right here that need to be dealt with, that's how that's gonna roll. But that shouldn't be an issue as far as making those 3 videos, and then hopefully I can get some good matches in. So if I have a really good week this week, things can go according to plan, as they never do, but we try. Yeah, I'll be able to do those flanks this week, and then get some good 2v2 matches, start kind of warming up, getting ready for that tournament, while trying to keep some, tactical integrity, in the sense, let's not give it all up, so that we can be rightfully competitive in the tournament. But it's been fun playing with everyone, and to continue to do it. So, alright, hit the videos, hit the time frame that I'm really looking at in full length, right? And then even just to this week, we'll see how execution of tasks go. And yeah, and again, thank you for anybody who's coming across these videos and finding some value in them, or enjoyment, or whatever it might be. So thank you again.